Welcome back. Today, we are going to be talking about making a 10 to help us do subtraction. Let's go watch our visual learning video.
Find 13 minus 7. You can use 10 to help you subtract. 13 minus 7 equals... There are two ways to use 10 to help you subtract.
Let's go try it together. Drag the dot to show making a 10 to subtract. Okay, so the first step, you can start with 7 and add 3 to make 10. Then add 3 to make 13. You added 6 to make 13. So 7 plus 6 equals 13, which means 13 minus 7 equals 6.
One way is to start with 7 and add 3 to get to 10. Next, add 3 more to make 13. 7 plus 6 equals 13, so 13 minus 7 equals 6.
I added 6 to 7 to make 13.
Another way is to start with 13 and subtract 3 to get to 10. Since 3 plus 4 equals 7, subtract 4 more. So, 13 minus 7 equals 6. I subtracted 7 and have 6 left.
Let's do the guided practice problems together. Remember, if you have to pause the video to go get your workbook, that's fine. We're on page 42, so make sure you pause it to get your workbook and your pencil before you hit play again, okay? Okay, let's look at the guided practice. Make a 10 to subtract. Use counters and your work mat. Okay, let's look at number 1. First, add to get to 10. So we're going to add first. There's two ways to make a 10 to help us subtract with the 10 frame, okay? So first, I have 8 counters on my 10 frame. Now, how many more counters do I need to add to make a 10? 2. So let's add those 2 counters. And look over here. 8 plus 2 more gets us to 10. We still have to get all the way up to 15 though, remember? So how many more do we need to add to get to 15? 10 plus how many more? 5. So let's add those 5 counters. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we did 10 plus 5 more equals 15. So we added 5, 6, 7 counters. So 15 minus 8 equals 7. Now let's look at number 2. We're going to subtract to get to 10 first. So we started with, let's see, 10, 15, 16. We have 16 counters on our 10 frames. We're going to subtract, let's see, how many do we have to subtract to make it so we just have one 10 frame that's full? We need to subtract 5, 6. We need to subtract 6 counters. So let's cross off 6 counters. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So if we had 16 counters and we subtracted 6 counters, now we have 10. We made a 10. Now we need to subtract 7 counters total. We already subtracted 6 counters, so how many more counters do we have to subtract? We just have to subtract 1 more counter. So we cross off 1 more counter. We did 10 minus 1, and we know that that equals 9, which means 16 minus 7 counters, we subtracted 7 counters, equals 9. That's our difference. That's our answer. Let's look at the do you understand problem. So this is a question for you. Do you prefer to add first to get to 10 or subtract first to get to 10? So just think about that for a minute. I know I personally prefer to add to make a 10 because to me it's easier to count up than it is to sometimes count backwards or to subtract. I know sometimes I find addition a lot easier, but you guys can do it either way as long as you know how to do it both ways, okay? So we're not going to actually answer the do you understand problem just because you were thinking about it in your head, thinking about which way you might want to do it when you do the problems by yourself, okay? Let's go watch another video.
Let's talk about 10 frames. You already know they can help you add, but did you know they can help you subtract too? It's true. Let me show you. Let's find 12 minus 6 using 10 frames. If I start with 6 counters and then add 4, I get 10. 6 plus 4 equals 10. Then I can add 2 more to 10 to get 12. 10 plus 2 equals 12. From where I started, 6, I added 4 and then 2 more. So I added 6. 6 plus 6 equals 12. Thinking about it as subtraction, this means 12 minus 6 equals 6. Interesting. But wait, there's another way. If you start at 12, you can subtract 2 to get 10. 12 minus 2 equals 10. Since 6 plus 4 equals 10, subtract 4 more. 10 minus 4 equals 6. So starting at 12, I subtracted 6 total to end up at 6. So 12 minus 6 equals 6. And that's all there is to it, using 10 counters to make any subtraction problem a lot easier. See you soon.
Now let's go to the next page, so turn the page. We're going to do number 3 and number 4 together first. Now if you want to get out your 10 frame mat out of your black folder, that would be a great idea because then you can use those counters that we gave you and your 10 frame work mat or your 10 frame work mat and a dry erase marker for your whiteboard. Keep it in the plastic and you can actually draw counters on it if you want to, okay? So we're going to use this to help us. I'm going to use my 10 frames on my whiteboard, okay? So our first problem is 11 minus 4 equals something. I like to count on to get to 10 first. That's how I like to do my subtraction. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to start with 4 counters. I have 4 counters, so now I'm going to try and get to 10. I know that 4 plus 6 more gets me to 10. So I'm going to add 6 counters in a different color. Or if you're doing it on your work mat, you can just do it in a different shape. Maybe X's or lines or hearts or smiley faces, whatever you want to do. So now I've made it to 10. Now I know that I need to add 1 more to get to 11. So let's see, I started at 4 and I added 6 counters to get to 10, and then I added 1 more to get to 11. So how many counters did I add in all? I added 6, 7. So my answer to 11 minus 4 is 7. Okay. Let's look at number 4 together. Our problem is 14 minus 8. Okay. So we're going to start with 14 counters. Now I have 14 counters on my 10 frames. Remember, we're going to subtract 8 counters. But first, I'm going to do it by making a 10. So I need to get rid of as many counters as are down here so I only have one 10 frame full. I'm going to make a 10. So I know I need to subtract 4 counters to make a 10. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. And now I know that 4 plus 4 equals 8. So I need to take away 4 more counters. 1, 2, 3, 4. Notice I subtracted 8 counters. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So how many counters do I have left? I have 5, 6. I have 6 counters left, which means my answer, my difference to 14 minus 8 is 6. So we did one problem by adding to get to 10 first, and we did one problem by subtracting to get to 10 first. Remember, you can do it either way, okay? I want you to pause the video and you're gonna do number 5 by yourself and then come back to me and we'll check your work. Okay, I'm gonna do number 5 by counting on first. Remember, it's up to you. You can do it either way. You're just gonna be checking that you have the correct answer and that if you did counting on, you did it the same way I did, counting on first, okay? So I started with 7 counters in my 10 frame. I need to add on counters until I get to 12. But first, I'm gonna add on just enough counters to make a 10. I know that if I have 7, I need to add 3 more counters to make a 10. then I know that if I have 10, I need to add 2 more to make it to 12. So how many counters did I add to start from 7 and get all the way up to 12? 3, 4, 5. So 12 minus 7 equals 5. Did you get 5 too? Good. I want you to pause and go do number 6 by yourself and then come back to me and we'll check your work. Okay, let's do number 6 together. I'm going to do it by subtracting first on this one. So I'm going to start with 12 counters on my 10 frame. Now remember, I'm only going to take away 4 counters, but first I'm going to subtract just enough so I have 1 full 10 frame. So I need to take away 2 counters so that way I have 10 left. Now I know that 2 plus 2 more equals 4, so I need to take away 2 more counters. So 1, 2. Notice I took away 4 counters. Remember, we're subtracting 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Now let's see how many counters I have left. 5, 6, 7, 8. So that means 12 minus 4 equals 8. That's my difference, my answer. Okay, one more by yourself. I want you to go do number 7 and then come back to me and I'll check your work. Okay, let's check number 7. I'm gonna do adding on first for this one. So I'm gonna start with 9 counters on my 10 frames. Now I need to count up until I get to 18. I need to keep adding counters until I get to 18. But first, I'm only gonna add counters until I can get a 10. I'm gonna make a 10. So I know if I have 9 counters, I need to add 1 more to make a 10. So now I'm at 10. I know that 10 plus 8 more equals 18. So I'm gonna add 8 more. Okay, now I have 18 counters. I added, let's see, how many more did I add? I started at 9. Let's count how many more counters I added on to get to 18. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I added on 9 more counters, which means 18 minus 9 equals 9. My difference is 9. Okay, we're actually going to turn the page to do one more problem together. Okay, we're going to do number 16 together. It says, Chen had 12 animal stickers. He gave 5 of the stickers away. So remember, whenever you see that somebody's giving something away, that means that we're going to be subtracting. So they gave 5 away. How many animal stickers does Chen have now? So I can see that he started with 12 stickers, and then he gave away, he got rid of, so subtraction, 5 stickers. We want to find out how many he has left. Look at that, we're back to a subtraction problem, easy peasy. I'm going to do it by subtracting first to make a 10. So I'm going to start by putting 12 counters on my board. Okay, now I have 12 counters on my 10 frame. So remember, I'm going to take away 5 counters, but I'm going to do it first by taking away enough to make a 10. So I need to take away 2 counters to make a 10. Now I only have 10 left. I know that 2 plus 3 equals 5, which means I need to take away 3 more counters. So 1, 2, 3. Notice that I took away 5 counters. So 12 counters, take away 5 of them. Let's see how many we have left. 5, 6, 7. So that means Chen now has 7 stickers. Okay. So we can write 7 animal stickers. That's how many he has left. Okay, let's look at your assignment for today. Now for today, you do have quite a few problems, but they shouldn't take you very long, okay? So in your workbook, I would like you to do numbers 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 17, and 19. So I would pause the video and write these down or circle them in your workbook, okay? So do all those problems. I know it seems like a lot, but it shouldn't take you too long. And then when you're done, do the quick check. And then after that, if you have time, do Math Facts Pro, okay, to practice those addition facts. Good job today. I will see you tomorrow for a brand new fluency game. Bye, guys.